Life as We Knew It, Chapter 9, page 156, August 6th. I woke up this morning thinking, I'll never see Sammy again. I'll never see Dan again. I am so scared I'll never see Dad again. I don't know how I survive if I never see sunlight again. August 7th. I went into Matt's room before supper to see if he had any library books to return tomorrow. Matt walked in as I was looking. "What the hell are you doing in my room?" he shouted. I was so startled I just stood there. "I've been chopping wood all day," he said. "I'm tired, and I'm filthy and hungry, and I have to be with Johnny every damn minute, and I swear I could kill Dad for not staying here to take care of us." I'm sorry," I stammered. "Well, so am I," he said. "Fat lot of good that does." August 9th. We're all in a funk. You would think knowing we actually have food in the house would cheer us up, but nothing seems to. I've noticed that Mom's skipping breakfast again, and for the past couple of days I haven't seen her eat lunch either. Matt's been chopping wood all day long, so I guess he's not eating any lunch. He hasn't been real chatty lately. Nobody's telling me what to do, but I guess I'd better go back to brunch also. It scares me that Mom is eating less when we do have food in the house. It must mean she doesn't think the stuff Dad brought, and what we still had before he came, is going to last long enough. You've got to think something in this world would get back to normal. I don't remember the last time we had electricity, not even for a few minutes in the middle of the night. Mom makes sure at least one of us goes into town every day to see if there's any news at the post office. It's become the community bulletin board. Or if there's a food giveaway, but we all come home empty-handed. It's getting colder, too. The temperature today never even hit 60. August 11th. First frost. Just a light one, but nonetheless. "Why are we staying here?" Johnny asked me this morning. "Everybody else is moving down south." "Everybody else isn't moving," I said, mostly because I was flustered by the question. Johnny's never been much of a talker, but since he came home from camp, he's been even quieter than usual. It's like this whole business has made him old before he ever had a chance to be a teenager. Half the kids at camp said their families were planning to move, Johnny said, and camp was less than half full. I ran into Aaron in town yesterday, and he said so many kids from school had already left, they're talking about closing down some of the schools. "Aaron isn't exactly a reliable witness," I said. "His father's on the school board," Johnny said. "Okay," I said, "so he is a reliable witness, but we're not going anywhere, and you better not talk to Mom about it." "Do you think we should go?" Johnny asked. It felt so strange because he sounded like I do when I ask Matt stuff like that. "We can't leave Mrs. Nesbit," I said, "and to get in our car and drive someplace without knowing where we end up, or if there'd be food there and a place to live. Some people can do that. I don't think Mom can." "Maybe one of us should go," Johnny said. "Matt or me. You could stay here with Mom and Mrs. Nesbit." "You're not old enough," I said, "so stop thinking about it. We'll be okay. We have food, we have wood, we even have some oil for the furnace. Things are bound to get better. They can't get worse." Johnny grinned. "That's what they all say," he pointed out, "and they've all been wrong." August 14th. At supper tonight, canned chicken and mixed vegetables, Johnny said, "I know my birthday is coming, but I don't expect any presents, so don't worry about it." I had totally forgotten about Johnny's birthday. When I list all the things I miss, I need to include shopping. Mom said that was very mature of Johnny, and she had to admit she didn't have anything for his birthday, but that didn't mean it wasn't going to be a special day, which I guess means an extra vegetable at supper, or maybe some canned fruit salad for dessert. Or maybe we'll drink that other bottle of wine Peter brought and all get drunk. It kind of annoys me that Johnny's making these big grown-up gestures and I'm not. I can't exactly say, "Don't worry about my birthday," since it's in March. And I think we'll have lots of other stuff to worry about between now and then. I'm back to 2 meals a day, but that's not exactly a big grown-up gesture around here. Also, even though none of us is saying it, we're all worried because there's been no word from Dad. The mail is so weird. Letters can take weeks to arrive, and probably a lot of mail doesn't make it through at all. There's no reason to think we'd have heard anything by now, but it's scary to think of him and Lisa driving into the void. Mom listens to the radio every morning, and I'm pretty sure if the rest of the United States had evaporated or something, she'd mention it. So Dad and Lisa are probably safe wherever they are. Still, we'd all like to hear. August 15th. I asked Mom if things were better than they had been. Had all the bad stuff, the floods and the earthquakes and the volcanoes, stopped? She said no, that once the moon's gravitational pull had changed, things could never go back to where they'd been. But things aren't any worse, I said. Mom obviously didn't feel like answering that. How much worse can they get? I asked. Mom explained that there were volcanoes erupting in all kinds of unexpected places, like Montreal. It seems there's a volcano there that never erupted because the Earth's crust had been too thick, but now that the moon's pull is so much stronger, the lava was able to break through the crust. The volcanoes cause fires, and the earthquakes cause fires, and the tsunamis just get bigger and bigger, so there's less and less coastline, and people are fleeing places with volcanoes and earthquakes and floods, so things are getting worse even in the stable places. And, of course, there are epidemics. Once Mom got started, there was no stopping her. We've already had 3 nights with frost, but New England and the upper Midwest have already had weeks of killing frost. All the crops there have died. Oh, and there was an earthquake right by a nuclear power plant, and it exploded or something. I think that was California. Now do you see how lucky we are? She demanded. I never said we weren't, I yelled, because I hadn't, or at least I hadn't today. All I did was ask if things were getting better, which isn't exactly the same as saying I wish we had electricity and hot chocolate and television and a prom with an actual date to look forward to. All of which I think about every morning when I wake up and every night before I fall asleep. Don't use that tone with me, Mom shouted. What tone? I shouted back. You're the one who's using a tone. How come you can yell at me and I just have to take it? We really went at it, which we haven't done in weeks, not since the whole horrible business with Horton. How ungrateful I am, how I just sit around and do nothing, how self-pitying I am. You're damn right I'm self-pitying, I shouted right back at her. Why shouldn't I be? It's bad enough my life is like this and I have no idea if I'm going to survive. I'm stuck with a mother who doesn't love me. I should have gone with Dad and Lisa. He loves me even if you don't. Go, Mom said. Just get out. I don't want to look at you. I was so stunned it took me a moment to run out of the house. But once I did, I had no idea where to go or what to do. I got on my bike and let my legs tell me where to go. And much to my surprise, although I guess not to my legs' surprise, I ended up at Megan's. Megan's mom looked about 10 years older than she had when I saw her last month, but she smiled when she saw me like it was the most normal thing for me to be popping in for a visit. At least she didn't remind me of Becky's mom anymore. Megan's in her room, she said. She'll be glad to see you. I went up to Megan's room. For a moment I wondered what the hell I was doing there, but I knocked on her door and told her it was me and went on in. Megan was lying on her bed reading the Bible. It was scary seeing how thin she'd gotten, but she didn't look crazy or anything, and these days you take what you can get. Miranda, she squealed, and for a moment she was my Megan. I'm so happy you're here. Sit down. Tell me everything. So I did. Every single thing. Mom and the fights, and Johnny and Matt and Dad and Lisa and Horton, and how Dan was going to ask me to the prom, only now he's gone. I must have talked nonstop for half an hour, with Megan interrupting me only to ask a question or make some kind of sympathetic noise. Boy, she said when I finally finished, your life is terrible. I didn't know whether to burst into tears or laughter. Laughter won. I'm having one of those, except for that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you like the play moments, I said. Everyone is, Megan said. Even you, I asked. Megan nodded. I know what I need to do, she said, and I'm doing it as best I can, but even though I know it's God's will and I can't question, I want to know Mom's soul is saved, and Dad's and yours and everyone else's I've ever loved. I pray and I pray, but I don't think it's making a difference. We're all in hell, Miranda. God knows what's best for us, but it's still hell. Does Reverend Marshall think that way? I asked. I was pretty shocked to hear Megan talk like that. He says God is punishing us for our sins.